Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. Are you ready?
Just bring it!
Woo!
And that's the bottom line. And that's the bottom line. Woo! Just bring it!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, another edition of the Asylum, and I'm your host, Mr. OMG of XWW, and I'm joined by...
Hey man, brother man with the master plan, brother Cam.
And today we have a special guest.
Hey, how's it going? Jack Wylie, part of the XWW commentary team. Happy to be here.
Yo, I'm glad we got Jack Wylie on here. I like Jack Wylie. Not really. But yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show for you today. You know, today we're going to talk about getting old. Is it a thing or is it not? Should we just be put out to pasture? Shot like a dog? Should we or should we not? Can we survive amongst the 2024 generation? Can we do that?
No comment whatsoever.
Got us setting us up there, Quest.
All right. Oh my God. Really, listen, check it out. So, Jack.
Oh boy.
What have you been up to as of lately since last we talked?
Oh, I've just been dealing with a lot of personal stuff, but, it's nice to get back in the groove. We've got some exciting shows coming up, obviously. Deadly Resolution, our first show at Lenny Point Brewing. That's going to be a great time. And also got some irons in other fires, but that's not XWW related, so I won't plug it.
Oh yeah, be careful. I'm tired of getting complained to over our broadcast team.
Which one? Talking about version?
Not
version 1 or version 2? Which one? What are we talking about?
Oh, them going to other places.
Oh, version 2s?
Yeah.
The annexes of whatever. Okay, all right, we're not going to do that. You're right, we're not going to do that. Yo, but I'm telling you, let me tell you a funny story real quick. All right? We were at WrestleCade.
Yeah.
And we was enjoying the festivities, and I actually ran into Mr. Wylie over here. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Wylie had a drink with me. And I got in trouble. They was like, you know what? He got a drink. He said his farewells, and then he just disappeared into the crowd. You can just watch him just disappear. And who was like, well, what the hell happened? What happened to Jack? Nobody knew. Nobody saw him again until we all got back in Charlotte. What happened to you, Jack? Do you remember that night?
Well, yeah, I actually, because that was the night of Survivor Series. I was feeling a little sleepy because you ordered me like a triple Jack and Diet. That's what Quest is alluding to, people. He got me pretty turt. So I went back to the hotel and had pizza and regurgitated a little, but all in all, it was good. Felt like garbage the next morning, but it's all good.
Yeah, you were pretty, you were pretty G'd up. You were about to hit the comeback. Yeah, I don't think it gets more babyface hype as you was that night.
Yo, I would tell you, it was so funny too, and they gave me so much shit. They're like, yo, why did you do that to him? Well, I said, listen, we always here to party. Like, I wanted to have a drink. Listen, I done been out plenty of times, and Jack Wylie has really, he shot after shot. He, I'm just returning the favor. That's all, you know.
He has got us numerous shots and drinks. So, hey,
Yeah.
here's to you.
Thank you, guys.
But in all seriousness, it's all love, you know that.
Yeah.
But we were concerned though. It was like because then they tried to make me feel bad about it. They were like, well, where did he go? You need to make sure he gets back to his room.
Yeah. You could just I just went back to my hotel room.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. But speaking of good time, you want to jump into it early? We want to talk about our Indy Spotlight.
We can. I don't see that. There's no harm in it. I mean, it's up to you. Guys, we're going to do whatever the producers say we're going to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new feature on the Asylum. It's called the Indy Spotlight. And we have been, I've been pulling, footage for around those guys that are all around on social media and doing their things in the indie circuit or whatnot. And this week we have a young guy, and I see this kid going somewhere big because he's young. He's really young and he's good. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indy Spotlight. It is Maurice Moss. He's really good. I expect to see him go far.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one hell of a segue, Quest. He's an extraordinary talent, man. When I worked out in UPW, that's out in the Raleigh area, they put me with another five-star graduate, Trey DeRula, and Maurice Moss. And, bro, the kid can go. Ain't nothing I can say about him that's bad. You know what I mean? His ring awareness and his cool factor as a wrestler is really up through the roof, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, and he's so cool in the locker room. You know what I mean? Very respectful, very with last week's discussion, very professional. I was shocked when I found out actually how old he is. He's real young, and my gosh, yeah, you're right. I'm a fan too. I'm going to be following. You was able to peep him out, right, Jack?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, definitely has a lot of upside, and look forward to maybe working with him in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be dope. Wait. Never mind.
Yeah, he said he going to get in the ring.
He did say it like that. I don't know.
I look forward to working with him in the future.
You never know. You never know. 'Cause listen, Jack pops up at the strangest places. You never know. He'd probably be in a three-way tag with his ass or something like that. I don't know.
No.
So I don't know. But yeah, so shout out Maurice Moss. Indie promoters, if you haven't booked this young man yet, book him. You will not be sorry. I tell you that now. So, let's move into our topics, all right? What do we got this week? Let me look through my records. I don't know. Somebody moved on my
I don't know if we have anything.
yeah, they moved my things around. I'm like, I'm lost over here again. Like Bob.
Yeah.
Bob come back from the holidays and just, I don't know what he's doing. But anyway.
Yeah, Bob is drinking.
Let's go. This is something I was thinking about. And I definitely don't want to actually just blow anybody up. But then again, I don't know. I might not. Depends on how I feel. But anyway, topic of the week. What is the worst gimmick you've seen in the indies?
Gosh. You know, it's the funny thing though is I don't actually see that many gimmicks these days. You know, a lot of people are just doing the "I am a wrestler." You know, there's been like sort of a modern aversion to the overly cartoony stuff. You know, and like the ones that do commit to that are sort of the standouts. You know.
Right. Cam, do you know any? I know you do. I know you know several.
That's all opinionated. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's what this is. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I could say anything's the worst gimmick, because if it got over, it can't be the worst anything. I could say there's some things I would prefer not to do, or not to be, associate a wrestling show with. You know, there's people with gimmicks that really only work for adult crowds, or gimmicks that really only work for backwoods country hanger brother crowds. You know what I mean? And those gimmicks, I consider the worst gimmicks, but to somebody they're badass, and to that little crowd area, it's over as hell. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it really, it just depends on the audience, and that's a criticism that AEW programming gets a lot of, where they take a lot of these gimmicks that got really over on the indies and they don't translate to TV. That was especially egregious in their first year. So it's definitely just a matter of getting a lay of the land and seeing what pops the crowd. Because something that's a very, like, on its surface, it's a pretty silly gimmick, the little panda thing, but his matches are the most heated on our XWW cards. Like, the kids, they just go mental for him.
So wait a minute. So pandas in one of your lists is what? Really?
I'm just sticking to the gimmick, brother.
He hates the panda. I don't.
But to add to that, you know what I mean? It's like, could you do that on the WWE? Maybe for about 2 or 3 months, but they've seen it all after that.
Yeah.
You can do that here at XWW, and you can't necessarily say it's the worst gimmick, you know?
Well, I mean, there's a couple worse gimmicks. Like, I mean, I've seen a gimmick where a guy is, like, really drenched out in baby oil. And I think that is a very horrible gimmick. No. Not just put some baby oil on. Like, I'm talking about, that's his whole gimmick, to be.
Oh, baby lotion?
Yeah.
Like, is it like doing like in a suggestive manner? Is that the?
No. My thing is this. See, I'm always thinking, if I got to get in the ring with this guy and he's slicked up, how sick is that going to be? It's one of the worst gimmicks. But I mean, hey, that's just my opinion. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Just mine.
I think. See, but I think that's what he was saying. You know, wrestling is so far away from that. People in the business have that mindset, with all due respect. People in the business have that mindset, but what do the fans say? You know, people are clamoring for it. You know why? Because you don't see it every day. It adds a shock value. It stands out, to say the least. Like, tons of people make an entrance on the show. I do mine 3 or 4 times, so it stands out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just little things. Tons of people do stomps and drop elbows and throw chops. I don't do a single move with the exception of my finish that is original to just Cam Jackson. You know what I mean? Well, maybe the up and over bomb too. But still, either way. But it all gets, you know, it all stands out.
Listen, I haven't seen this, but I'm finna give a pitch that I know is the worst gimmick. But again, don't get it misunderstood, all right? This question is just opinionated. These are just our opinions. My opinion, it's Cam Jackson's opinion, Jack Wylie's opinion, and you probably got one who's watching it, your opinion. All right? Saying that first. But now one of my opinions, which I think would be freaking awesome, but yet it's the worst gimmick ever. It's a tag team, all right? Tag team of black brothers, all right? All right? 2 African Americans, all right? I'm talking about they might even have the braids, you know what I mean, braids. Let's even go with have an afro and everything, all right? It's 2 black brothers. But they come out, their gear is Confederate flag. All over it, all right? And they literally go to the ring, and that's their pitch. They are Confederates of the South. And I want them to go into the deepest backwoods mud shows and perform this gimmick. I would pay money to see that worst gimmick.
I know, because then you make other fans that come feel uncomfortable.
Well, if we did go in those backwoods, they would probably be the biggest baby faces to that crowd if they were black guys decked out in the stars and bars. You know, because like you see that all the time in the news. It was like this one news story 10 years ago where a black guy out of college like hung up a Confederate flag. It's part of my Southern heritage. You know, one of those pick me dudes.
Right.
Those what?
Pick me.
Oh.
Woo! Close. Boy, that was a close. Oh. Yeah, boy.
Oh, man.
Boy, we was about to be demonetized. What it is? Oh, gosh. That is... Well, you just...
No, he's good. He said pick me. But you gotta put more space in there. Pick me.
Yep.
Pick me. Whoa.
Oh, boy, that was a close one.
Hey.
Dodge that one.
Swerve.
Yeah, but I
Whoa. Hold on. I know. Oh. Okay. All right.
Oh, shoot.
Hit me up tomorrow. We'll time that out.
That is funny though. That is funny. But I think that gimmick would be the worst and be the hated one. You know what I'm saying? Because I just in my mind,
Make sure he lock
the way
it.
they do that.
I'm sorry, but if I don't say it,
Yeah, but you know, every time we get get one of our stage hands that leaves always before, I'm like, why they? But anyway,
I don't know but you. I'm not really singing. I'm just humming along until we pass the time.
oh Lord! All right, listen. Let's move into our next topic. Our next topic of the week, and All right, I'm trying to think how to word this, really. But the next topic of the week is building a story versus building a story just for one show. I know when Seth was here before, I think it was like last season sometime, we were discussing certain things.
Last season.
Dude thinks he's a count from Sesame Street.
Last season.
We were speaking about this a little bit before, and Seth was talking about, that, you put a story together just for that one show. Like I'm having a show here in whatever town. So we don't need to go into storylines and people that following who and feuds and nothing. They just build that story for that show.
Is that wrong?
No, I'm saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing is wrong or right. This is we're getting our opinions. My opinion on it is I think you build a lasting fan base when you build storylines, because you're giving the fans or people that come to see you characters to follow. Well, what's happening in his story? What's going to happen next? Who is he fighting next? What is he doing next? Let me follow him. Where are they going to be next show? I'm going to go to that show. Where can I see them online? Because they become invested in certain characters or wrestlers they like. That is what I say gets the nod, opposed to...
Damn. That's good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just having a show like, all right, we're in this town tonight. We're introducing our brand of wrestling. We're just going to put on a good show, Whereas you got people that come, they might like the show, but that's it. They just came and saw a good wrestling show.
It definitely just depends on what kind of shows you're running in it, like what schedule. So, like go back to the territory days, you would have wrestling every week in Memphis, at the Mid-South Coliseum. And so that territory, they ran a lot of angles, and they had a lot of storylines with different developments because they had to keep bringing people in each week. Meanwhile, up in the Northeast, the WWF would have these big basketball arenas booked a year in advance. So they didn't really run many angles. It was just these top-heavy cards where the superstars, like your Brunos or your Pedro Morales, they would beat up the evil foreigner and send the people home happy because they were probably driving in from all over the Northeast.
Right. And to that point, and I'm glad that you were able to preface it with that, to that point, storylines, they work when you have a continual product. The F, the E, whatever y'all want to call it, they didn't start really doing storylines till they got TV. When television came, then it became about, okay, how do we keep people invested? Because before it was just, hey, well, here's our characters, they're cool to look at, but then that became cheesy. Right. Then it became, hey, we're going to build a feud for weeks, and that became good, but then the characters were still cheesy. And then it was like, all right, let's add some sort of, excitement to this that's just not, wrestler A in green tights versus wrestler B in blue tights fighting for the heavyweight strap, and or I'm defending my country, or I hate these people and you're going to defend these people. Or you know what I mean? Then the stories really started to become a thing once they took in character progression, like the soap opera deal of it. So it's like on an indie level, when you say booking storylines for a show, is that wrong? No. However, you can't just do that every show.
Right.
The reason why you can't do that every show is it's not, you can't follow it. Like you just can't.
Right. And see, and like again, both points, but very good.
But can I finish that? But there's nothing wrong with booking a super card every show. And the reason why I say that is because if the point is to draw fans, then you're going to do that with huge names no matter what. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't, in a sense. Like, do they matter? Yes. Do they help? Yes. Do you need them? Maybe not sometimes. And I hate to say that, but you know, there's a super show in Raleigh. They get a big arena. I haven't seen one continual story ever from them. And there's big names going there all the time.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure they have a champion and they do the whole mail in a promo thing, but they're really just going show to show. Kind of, you know, like we offer a product to where you can get behind the characters. So therefore, if we build the characters, when I have to wrestle, say if I have to wrestle Quest, the storyline's there for us already, no matter what, because our characters are both built here. So we have to do something. You know what I mean? You've got a pass here. I've got a pass here. It just doesn't work like that anymore. Like, you know, like he said, when back in the day, it used to be territorial. And you used to have to build stories around these people to keep them interesting. But once the E got on TV and it had to be continuous, and they kind of, now everybody's expectations of wrestling is that, indies don't do that. We're just going to give you the wrestling that you can't watch on there. You know, that's the way they look at it.
Yeah, right, and I see that, but then that's why I think building storylines within a Fed is more important as far as the indie circuit goes, because if I'm putting on a show in this town, all right, and let's say, all right, let's say no supercars, I'm just putting on the show. Good people on the card, but it's just a show. Those people in that town say, all right, we had a good time. We loved that. We enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? When's the next time you're going to be in town, you know?
That second show is where you build that story.
No.
When you start building that story, it's that second show. Yeah.
Right.
So you can
and see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
third one.
I want this person not only because we've introduced them, all right, we just like fishing, throw out there, boom, we sink the hook in them now, right? How are we going to keep them on that line? Well, they really like Cam. I want to produce a storyline so they can not only come to the show next time we're in town, but look us up on our social media. Look up your personal social media. Look it up and see, like, oh, let me follow him. And then they say, oh, wait a minute. He's got a match with Jordan? Wait a minute. I mean, that might be a good match. I'm going to make sure I'm at that show. But then let me subscribe and follow them, because they might be in the city next to me. Let me go there. So then you build a fan base. And I think to build a fan base, you need storylines. It's just, you know.
But with those storylines goes, it's indie wrestling for a reason. You know what I mean? Independent. Fans are more likely to go see their favorite wrestler anywhere they're at rather than stick with a company. And that's where the exclusivity thing comes in. Right? Like, your storyline-wise, if I'm wrapped up, let's take it for what it is. If I'm wrapped up in the number one contender story here, and there's not much of a payoff in sight anyways right now. Not, with all due respect, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just talking. But we use the real life situation of me going to another company, wrestling a big star and winning that title. It's like, what does that say to the audience? Like, the audience here, if they're following me, the independent wrestler Cam Jackson, they saw that I did that, but I come back here and I'm working this story. It's like, hold on, you 48, 50 miles up the road, you're good enough to beat one dude, but here you're still struggling against the regular roster guys, or you kept, you know what I mean? It's hard to. Like, anywhere, even if the roles were reversed, I'm saying, like, even if I want to sell the story as a good underdog here, but how the hell are they going to believe that here if I'm doing that there? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to put a negative spin on it. I'm giving the example.
I just wonder if that should be a concern, because in 2024, even if wrestling is the hottest it's been in 2 decades right now, still, if you're going to an indie wrestling show, you're either you're really into wrestling, and you're able to like make these sort of mental compartmentalizations. So I don't think that people are like really are really like worked by the idea of like, oh, wait a minute, but Cam won a title up in Hidden Night, so why can't he win one down here? I think they get it, you know.
You just don't. But that takes away from the quality of what you get in one place versus another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's like then you're two separate people, and then you're giving the fans, which is good in some instances. Don't get me wrong, but when the goal is to build stories, going back to the main point here. I'm sorry over this long way. We talked about this the other day, actually, yesterday. Going back to the point, if you're trying to build stories, you have that against you as a promotion, no matter what, no matter who it is. It's not if it's not Cam Jackson, it's Ian Maxwell, it's you know, whoever. It doesn't matter. If they got something good going on somewhere else, but they come here and don't do this, the continuity does not translate because they're not exclusive. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, well, like, I can have the most huge fan base in the world, but if they can pick and choose when I'm closer to them to come see me, then they will. So it doesn't necessarily always pale in comparison. But if you want people to just draw for you, then they got to be exclusive to you, which we know in 2024 is not necessarily that possible for your common independent wrestler. So, like, back to the main point, the storyline thing is kind of, you know, it's you have a lot of things against you, and the ones that can pull it off and pull it off right, you know, I think you need to keep on to those stories, and that's what you need to expound upon. I think you try storylines. So this is me answering the question finally. I think you try storylines, and then if you get one that works, you start taking every possible branch you can out of that till you find another one that works, and then branch off of that, and another one that works. Because that's the only way that these people might not be exclusive to XWW, but the story that they were involved in that drew people in were. You know what I mean? It was.
Right, that's exactly what I was about to say.
And I'm sorry I took such a long roundabout way to get there.
No, that's what I was about to say, because the way I was pretty much like to describe it, like, okay, we all know it's a soap opera, right? And my thing why I'm for building storylines is that I want to get these people involved in my company and see what's going on. Let's say, all right, Cam, you have your fan base, all right? We know they're going to follow you here. They're going to follow you around the circuit, wherever you're going to go, right? The purpose of building a storyline, because just like your favorite actor, you know, they could be on this sitcom and they're playing a villain, but they're on another sitcom that airs maybe another channel or maybe a couple of more. Right, a whole different scenario.
People understand how to.
Yeah, whole different scenario. But if I'm a Cam Jackson fan, I want to know what's going on with him at XWW. I'm going to follow XWW. What has he got going on at XWW? The reason why I'm going to follow you in there, yeah, I see you somewhere else. But our purpose is to bring a strong following to this brand.
Right.
So, and I feel like
use you to help us.
Right.
It's wrestling. Any business. How can I use your service to help my business? It's any job. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
let's make this version of Cam Jackson the best, and that's why, or the most must see, and that's what I think we're all saying is that, you know, storylines are wrestling, but in modern wrestling, you know, super shows are a thing. Big matches, big fight fields without having any build-up are a thing. It's just what they are. And but if you can get a storyline to work, you have to attempt. It's wrestling. Get one to work, sprout from it ASAP. Go with it, and sprout from it.
Right.
Because if you can get it to work, then it's gonna work. It's pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Until you fuck it up. But chances are, if you're watching WWE and the crowd don't like it, just gotta look be updated with the internet. You know what I mean? If they don't like something from WWE, just do something slightly different, and they're gonna love you for it.
Right.
Trust me.
Right. So now, all right, with that, with that, and let's say you would go storyline, all right? How do you build a story with somebody, or what we call set a program with a certain person? What would be your formula to do that?
Let's go with
all right, let's start with Jack.
I mean, well, it depends on what the strengths of the performer are. If they have the gift of gab, I would just do a bunch of promo segments, you know. And if talking isn't their strong suit, well, if someone can't talk, I'd put them in a stable, or I would put them with a manager, put them with someone who can talk. But still, if their specialty is physicality, do more physical angles. You know, it's just a matter of looking at, okay, what do I need to do to accentuate the talents of these two people so that people are most interested in seeing them fight?
All right. Cam?
pretty much that. How do you enter a program? The content of it. What makes it must-see? The content of it. The contents of it. If you want a program with Kwest and Cam Jackson, you can't just start that anywhere. You have to start that in XWW. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because there's content behind me. There's content behind you. We're two built entities that people have been following, so that now that we want to mesh, we can guarantee us that somebody's going to want to see it. You know what I mean? So like it's content. It's just like, you know, flipping through the TV. Those are programs too. Mm-hmm. Why do you watch certain shows? Because of the contents of it. You might like crime. The show's got crime in it. You might like Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston. Hey, Friends is on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like the contents of the show. That's just what it is. That's how you start a program anywhere. You know, the contents of it have to be interesting, and then what they do has to be interesting, and then the audience will tell you.
Yeah, I think in taking what you guys said, all right, as that part of the ingredients, I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna go back to the bare basics. You know, if I'm baking that cake, the eggs, flours, or whatever. All right, we're gonna start there. I'm thinking first off, you don't reinvent the wheel. You always have something that needs to be obtained. Doesn't always have to be for a title, all right? But being that this is sport-based entertainment, all right, that should be, I'm the better man, you know, just as you got football, I'm the better team, basketball, I'm the better team. Eventually move towards that goal, like, oh, I want to be this, but it doesn't have to start there. First, it has to start with, I'm trying to obtain something. Cam Jackson, I'm here. I got the mouthpiece that adds to what we was talking earlier. I got the mouthpiece. All right, why is Cam Jackson running his mouth? You know? He said, let's use me. We're starting a few requests. I'm saying, wait a minute. I've been here the longest. So what is my goal? My goal is to be champion, but you're there first. Like you're running your mouth and you're getting people's attention. So we're going to start with that formula, like, all right, we'll start something. Me and you'll have a match, blah, 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 and build from there.
See, but I think that's the common problem with indies. Oh, boy, I'm going to get in trouble. Especially with XWW. Jack, this is not the ship. This is not the hill to die on. Let me die on this one. So if you agree, just start the table. Like with XWW, see, you said that, and I'm not saying that's you. I understand the commissioner role is your character. Right. But not every feud has to start with a match. That's almost oversaturation. Like, how come there's money in less is more. That never changed in wrestling. When it comes to storylines, programs, everything, less is more. The reason why is it's still a business. It's still an art form. You don't give it all until you're at the very big crescendo. That's why these old vets bitch. They just don't know how to come and tell everybody that less is more. You know, we hear it in the locker rooms just as like we see it on Twitter. We in the locker room, hey man, the main event needs this spot. Why are you guys doing this spot? They bitch about it because less is more in the opener. You know what I mean? Do things that we can't do, because that's less than you're going to get in the main event. You know, you're going to get a bunch of high spots, whether them be planned or not. The less is more thing. And not every storyline has to start with a match. Now I'm talking about XWW. We're promoting this show where the main event was going to be a long build, blow off with two guys. But those two guys I went back and watched, they've already had 4 one-on-ones. It's just like, how are we now, this is using all of our reasoning against ourselves, how are we going to sell this fight one more time when one person has completely dominated all those one-on-ones?
Right.
It's like, oh, we're going to do this match again? Okay, I'm hyped to see it. But if you almost cornered yourself into going with one finish. You know what I mean? And this is, I'm as much to blame. I'm here. I work here too. You know what I mean? So we almost cornered ourselves into going with one way. So we have to understand that less is more. There's money in the big fight. There's you got to do some segments. Some things may start as matches, but the match doesn't start, or the match doesn't end, or so-and-so is just watching this guy have matches for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? That part of it we lack. And now let's broaden it. That's not just that. That's me talking about here because I know I can make a difference with that here, and I know we're going to change that. But in other places, that's indies everywhere. It's just like, okay, we're going to start a program with wrestler A and wrestler B, no matter how good they are, and they're going to start out in the same match, and then now, 50 matches later, they're going to have the match to end all matches, and then when they finally make it to WWE, they'll finally make money off this fucking match. You know what I mean? Hey, let's give it up to Kevin Steen and El Generico. Yeah, there you go. No, I love those guys, but that's the truth. I'm just shooting. Mm-hmm. And I'm not there, so I'm proud of them for making money. But I'm just saying that's the Indies does that. We can avoid that. We can get more for less. And then when you finally get to that big match, do all of it. Give me the whole kit and caboodle. All right, I'm done talking about XWW now. But I know, there's things that we all see. But I do know I can deal with the ass chewing. I don't want everybody else to get the same ass chewing I get.
Yeah, but I agreeing with everything you say, but I really think to build that story, I want somebody to be invested. And with that, it's like you said, everything you said was right.
They have some sort of spot. Right. I know you didn't mean a match. I know you meant they have some sort of spot.
Right, but it's not reinventing the wheel. It's just making a better wheel.
Right.
And the thing is, and I think you answered the question, went away and came back and still answered it. Mm-hmm. But going back on some of the stuff you're saying, what I think would build a great story between two guys is the teasers. You know what I mean? Or either, as they say in the movies, the plot twist. You know what I mean? You have people invested, per se, let's say me and you. You got people because they followed me in the commissioner role, they follow you as two-time champion,
And even though we joke about it, number one contender, it's still a storyline.
And they follow us, but what they think is going on, and you hit them with a total plot twist, all of a sudden, me as commissioner, I put you up against somebody that's, hey, wait a minute, I thought that was his friend. Why would he do that to Cam Jackson? You know what I mean? Just build stories like that where you tease people, and right when they think they know what's going on, plot twist. Snatch the rug up under them. And I think that's what invests people in a storyline. Because they're going to feel like, I don't know what the hell's going on now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got swerved, bro.
I feel like you're right, but I also feel like this is where I'm going to put over XWW now. Not everybody has more than one brain You know, every promotion has more than one brain to think of things like that. A lot of the times, it's all on one guy.
Right.
And you know, I will say that our one guy does outsource a lot to us. You know what I mean? So at the same time, it's kind of like I can complain, but I can't complain because, you know, we do things here. We're trying to do things better. You feel comfortable stating that and thinking that not only because it's your opinion, but because you know you can put that to action tomorrow if you wanted to at XWW.
Right.
Everywhere else is just not like that.
Right. So, I mean.
But yes, I agree with everything you're saying. I think, you know, those teasers are good. My ideal storyline would be to have two guys fight over whatever reasoning, whether it be title, whether it be just reason, and to limit them touching each other.
Right.
Limit them. Now, it's 2024. People want to see action. So when they do touch before the big deal, it's got to be big. But they're not fighting all night. You know what I mean? It's either big deal here, just for a short moment, a little bit, teaser. You know what I mean? Or they brawl to the back, you know, everybody pulls it apart, a little bit, teaser. I hate pull aparts that stay in one spot. If you start a brawl in the ring, it needs to end in the back. If you start a brawl in the back, it needs to end in the ring. Let's be different from Raw and Dynamite, guys. Honestly, we shouldn't be doing pull aparts because nobody's got all the extra talents already on the show. So we shouldn't be doing pull aparts unless you're going to scavenge from the yarders and make them be the extra talents to do the security. I'm just talking indies. I'm talking the truth. I'm sorry. Who am I? Nobody, because I'm sitting here, but I'm just saying, just telling the truth. That's why wrestling is so hard to get behind. That's why there's so much to choose from, which is good and bad, because nobody's got any goddamn sense anymore.
Right.
And that might sound very opinionated, but it's just like, hey, how do you stand out? How do you look different? Well, take what they're doing and do it different. I mean, that's simply like what they're doing works, so you can't change it too far. It's wrestling, but do it different. All right, their pull aparts are going to happen. They're going to get halfway up the ramp, and then they're going to come back down and fight again. All right, well, guess what? You guys are going to be able to do that. You guys are going to brawl all the way to the back, and we're going to pull you apart, and that's it. That's the last we're going to see of you. Or you're going to start in the back, come to the ring, and that's it. Last we're going to see of you.
Right.
It's just so easy. It makes me so damn mad.
Yeah, my big thing, though, is like I love creating stories and creative part of it, you know? And even when it gets to the point where, you know, I'm at my point because, listen, I'm a realist. I can acknowledge the talent that's coming up now.
It's great.
There's no way I'm doing what a lot of this talent is doing. But for me to stay relevant, it's based on story. Character. My character that's been around forever, you have to have, what is that? I have no idea. Well, I mean, listen, I don't know what that was, but anyway. Like I was saying,
you gotta love being live on podcasts here,
but yeah, I'm just saying, you know, my character, because I've been around, is story based. You know what I mean? So I have to build a strong story, you know, and I want to involve myself in certain stories. That's how I remain relevant because, you know, I'm not jumping around with everybody else and doing these flips. But, you know, I really think to invest, like, a story needs to be that, like, you build it, you give people, like, be a storyteller. And the ingredients of that is to do, like Cam says, stuff other people aren't doing, you know. And those watching, I mean, hell, we might have gave away a lot of secrets watching. Probably going to have everybody trying to do what we do now.
Hey,
you know?
but look, that's...
As we're looking at,
look, what I'm saying is this. I'm so sorry. I think this, right? So nobody can do what we're doing because they don't have the whole team on board. The reason why our stuff works is because we do have XtremeTVOnline.com, which you can subscribe to for $4.99 a month, first 5 days free. But we have people, and this isn't a shameless plug, this is actually a segue I was going to make. We have people like Jack Wylie and Dom Douglas that can add to the story. Yeah, they commentate other places. Yeah, we give them shit about it. But at the end of the day, they're our commentary team because they have something consistent to go off of from these guys, from our roster. They're very skilled at picking up what we're putting down, and they can help sell it. And that ultimately, for an indie show on any level, is a make or break. It's like when you have commentary that can help add the element of storytelling that sometimes the guys in the ring just can't do, or the cameraman doesn't catch the best, or or we weren't even planning to, you know what I mean? Like sometimes that adds to it. There's been a few moments where the guy to my left has taken a spot where we typically would have been like, psh, but made it a little bit bigger. And same thing with Dom Douglas, made it a little bit bigger and made it sound cool just with their reaction or the way they vibed off of it. So to go with what you're saying, what takes a program, what makes it all work, it takes the whole company. That's why I say, when you say we're giving away secrets, I'm like, yeah, we are, but they can't do what we do. It's literally a whole team of people that are cued in on one thing, and we're so good that we don't communicate and do it. Imagine what happens when the communication line actually gets right.
True that.
You know what I'm saying?
True that.
So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I say what I say about it because I work here, but there's just things that we're really good at naturally that we all feed off of one another.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
Yeah, I love it. But closing out that topic because we only have a few more minutes left. So
Damn, I ran my mouth.
Let's talk about Jack here. All right.
Oh no.
Let's talk about
your first episode went unaired. That's not just your fault. A lot of Cam Jackson's fault too. But I know Quest has some questions, but I got one immediate question.
Oh boy.
This is the put Cam over question.
Oh,
So,
Lord, always.
Jack, everybody out there has been wondering, how the heck did you get involved? How'd you get into the old wrestling business? I just want to know for myself. I would go sell here. I just want no, seriously. So I met you at a WrestleMania party.
The 12th man, yeah.
Yeah, owned by Steelers Super Bowl player Jeff Reed. You like that plug, right? We all met there and we did the WrestleMania thing. We all, embraced our nerdism for wrestling. And after the show, I remember myself and another wrestler that works with us, Xtreme, Sweet Dreams.
Drunk bastard.
And Quest stuck around for a little bit. We talked outside with you and another associate of yours, a couple of other associates of yours. And you're the one that really stuck around, and we thank you for doing so. But explain to us, what's going through your head, that whole conversation, and how it's been up to now.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought I didn't know what to expect. I didn't realize how deeply I'd get involved with this, because I've been doing a broadcasting gimmick for a few years now at another company, and not a wrestling company, but yeah, it's just it's something that I've loved for a long time, and it just kind of snowballed, and it's just funny to think that it was because I got on your microphone and did a Vince McMahon impression.
Hey, but look, I know he's going to tell you about that in a second. Hold on to it. I got you. But it was because of that, I was like, I got to talk to these guys after something. It sounds like something's up here. They know too much, and they're talking to me like they belong in the locker room. So I was like, okay. All right, well, go ahead.
Yeah, but all right, so now, did you think, all right, so obviously it's your first actual commentating gig, right? How did you think this was going to turn out?
I really couldn't tell you. I'm really not trying to prop myself up here. I just like, okay, let's just go in. See, I'll try and do what it is they think is valuable, and I'll do it. It's like but now that I'm here, now that I've been in the weeds of the company, I think I'm getting a little more ambitious, in what I think, I could
bring to the table.
I could bring to the table. But yeah, it really was just a matter of, okay, let's just be nice. They were talking about me and KJ being KJ was an associate that was talking to us. He's also my co-host on the Carolina WrestleManiacs podcast.
That plug in. Anyway, that's your shot. Get that plug in. Get it real quick.
Yeah, Carolina WrestleManiacs. We are on Twitter and Discord and Instagram. We are the Charlotte area's biggest wrestling superfan group, and we also have chapters out in the Triangle and other parts of the Carolinas. So if you want to watch wrestling with good people in person, hit us up. Anyway, yeah,
I'm going to cut all that out.
No, he's not.
But anyway, yeah, I was just obviously KJ, he kind of fell by the wayside because he is, he is a family man, and and also I just have more of a stick up my ass about wrestling. I want to contribute to the business, and I want to get over and get other people over, and so. This was just a wonderful opportunity, and I thank you for giving it me.
Oh, yeah, no, I was joking when it says put me over, man. It's not for real. It's not about that. What I'm saying is...
It's good that you said all that, because actually that was my lead up to it. Because, Cam, let you know, I tell you how I feel, tell you what's on my mind, I don't bullshit,
Right, you don't pull no punches.
But... you're really fucking good.
Oh, thank you, Quest.
Right. You are. And my question, like I said, my question I was going to ask you next was, did you think that you was going to be as good as you are? Did you think that or did you even know that you have a talent for this?
I mean, I was thinking about this earlier because wrestling is a fun intersection. A lot of them are either, jocks who failed at sports or theater kids who sucked at acting. I'll give you a guess as to which one I was.
Hey, look, let me tell you what. I'm not necessarily a jock that failed at sports, nor a theater kid that sucked at acting. I just thought there was no other place for me to be myself besides inside the walls of wrestling.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying.
But yeah, there's just a lot of similarities to wrestling, including spending long nights where hardly anything gets done, but it all works out in the end,
Yeah.
So this really has scratched an itch I've had since becoming a working adult and not having time, to do community theater or any of that garbage.
I think one thing I'm like I said, I'm a viber, man. I say that a lot off camera, but
You already know how I am about that,
right? Absolutely. So I caught that immediately that you'd be really good at commentary. That was the first thing I even promoted to you guys was one of you be an interviewer, one of you guys be a commentator. And the reason why is I can sense it in the way that you just talked about wrestling. You know how to keep the conversation going because you want to learn more. You want to contribute. You want to, wrestling is one of those arts to where if I'm giving 50%, or you're going to, if the real fans going to give you 50% back. It's the same way in the business. If I'm working 50%, then the wrestler's going to work 50% back. That's just kind of how it is. And I vibed that off you guys, and you worked out really, really well. We
you worked, and it's no such thing
you
too well, but in all honesty, you worked out. I'm upset. All right, I'm trying to, for lack of any other word, I'm upset, because Cam will tell you that I always say this every time, all right, about the indie business. I never want to knock anybody for going to get their money, all right? go get it. That's what we're here for. We don't have WWE, AEW, and all the other ones contracts, but you know, we just have our talent. That's what we pride ourselves. So when you came, I knew you had a voice, and just like that, I saw how you grew into this. And you're freaking good.
Oh, thank you, Quest. I appreciate
But
it.
I'm pissed
Because you're not just ours.
because you're not just ours.
Yeah.
And granted, I don't knock you. Make your money, especially when you're good at something. All right. By no means am I gonna say don't go do that when you're good at it, because that's, you know, you can make that money. But I was pissed because I was like, yo,
It was a big find for us.
we found his ass. Not to mention that we not find his ass. We found his ass and he's fucking good.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, and now the next man is over there poaching off our shit. I was pissed. I was mad.
Well,
All right.
I'm not, you know, I look at it this way. I look at it like I said earlier, you know, it's time to practice what we preach. We got our Jack Wylie. We're going to use our Jack Wylie in our way,
Right.
and there'll never be another company in the North Carolina indie scene able to provide Jack Wylie the way we do.
Yeah, I like to think that me and Dom have a very different kind of rapport in this other place we're working.
Yeah, that's more of you guys are the team brought in to do commentary rather than being the commentary team.
And that's another thing that got me, that ruffles my feathers the most. It's not even the fact that you're working somewhere else. It's the fact working somewhere else with the exact same person that you're working here with. That's the only thing. Like, okay, I'm pissed, you know, because I already know wherever you guys are working is going to get a good team. They're going to get a good job, you know. Whereas you can, you know, I can look at these other people like they don't have a Dom, they don't have a Jack. But I'm looking at it like, God damn, they got Dom and they got Jack, just like we got. I'm big on exclusivity, and even if it's not contract wise, like even still, like, you know, we don't have contract money. And again, like I say, go get your money because you're good at it. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm pissed because it's like, did it have to be the same two people working the same?
Dom gave that promoter several names, and I was just the one he happened to hit up.
Oh, and I got on Dom too. I said, Dom, man, all the fucking names you gave, why? Again, it's just me hating because I don't want to knock nobody for getting their money. But I'm like, dude, you gave him 5 names. Why you couldn't just give him the 4 and be fucking done with it?
Yeah, you know, when I walked in and I saw you guys sitting there, I immediately said what was gonna happen, which absolutely happened. I said, beep, is gonna be so fucking pissed about this. And you know, you guys will never know how pissed Beep actually was. Because he told both of you, no, I said, chill.
Oh no, like I got plenty of like that backhandedness and passive aggressiveness
At the X
Award. Yes.
Yeah, that's because he has some liquid courage.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, you're good at this. Even like now, even wrestlers come through. Like before, we just had Maurice Moss. You know, it's some people that are just good at what they do, and they're good at this, and you are good at this. So.
I think.
Thank you.
I
I
think
appreciate that.
the sentiment here is he's saying you're good at this. He's saying that if you're going to leave us, then leave us for something much bigger than us.
Right.
If you're going to step out on XWW, that's all that's all he would like to see. It'd make the blow hurt less. It'd be like, okay, all right, well, he's doing MLW. Can we really fucking be mad? No. You know, he's doing GCW. All right, fine. He's on NXT. That motherfucker. You know, that's good. That's fine.
I'm too ugly for NXT.
Listen, no. Hear me out. Listen, we got time. Well, one thing that XWW is very good at when given the time is character development. It's just, you know, we hate that you get here at 7 and don't leave till 2. But yeah, when we actually have time to do things on time, you know, we'll help you get there. It's not about looks; it's about how you use them.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, okay. So with that, we're gonna have to wrap this up because we're out of time, and somebody works here. I already used that time that somebody works here normally gets us. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another Asylum. I want to thank Cam Jackson, Jack Wylie.
Thank you, Quest.
We're definitely gonna have you on again because, I'm a fan, except for when you're other places. But either way, catch you later.
Peace.